if you read the Canadian press like I do, I think they think we've gone nuts. That between Bernie Sanders on the left and Donald Trump on the right, they think we've gone nuts. Sometimes I think, well, pot meet kettle, but that's just me. Media tycoon Lord Conrad Black joins us now from our friendly neighbors north of the border. Conrad, I mean, what is getting them so agitated here? Donald Trump, or that he's crazy? What's got them all tied up?
No, he's a great celebrity in this country, but as you know, Neil, friendly to the United States, foreign nations get easily rattled by tough-talking candidates for president. There was a great deal of unease about Ronald Reagan, not only in Canada, but in Great Britain and Western Europe and Australia, when he was a candidate for president. And, of course, in the end, everyone thought he was a very distinguished president, and they liked him.
So why don't they just pipe down? Why don't they just pipe down? And by the way, newsflash, their leader is a celebrity. Their leader is part of practically a monarchy.
Well, that is overstating it a bit, but but
you get the point. It's cable.
Canada, no, but Neil, you got to let me answer here. Canada is piping down. It's not a great topic of discussion. You're referring to one poll, which merely said that they find Donald grating stylistically,
I'm looking at six newspaper headlines. You're covering up for your.
Oh yeah, but you're
covering up for your.
No, but the kid. No, in the first place, I'm technically British, but I'm a Canadian resident. But no, I am not. The fact is, it's not a great subject of discussion, and the media, as I need not tell you, makes what it can out of what it's got to work with. And there is a body of opinion, and it's quite well represented in the United States itself, that Donald is a racist. Now, he isn't, but he sometimes can be mistaken for one. And that he's a sort of vulgar, garish man who boasts about his money and talks about, I'm the greatest and everything will be great. And I know, and you know, I guess, that it's just American positivism. It's just Donald. He's a promoter, and he's a positive-minded person. But foreigners don't always understand that. They like
How will they feel if he
people.
becomes president? If he became president, you mentioned Ronald Reagan. They kind of warmed to him. It took a while, but they did. How would it be with Trump?
Sure. Well, it would all depend on his performance. I mean, if he was reckless and bombastic and was threatening to blow everybody up, they would not like it. But if he was firm and consistent and avoided the toing and froing and drawing red lines and retreating from them and so forth that we've seen lately, or the impetuosity of the previous regime of George W. Bush, they'd come to appreciate him. I mean, like anyone else, including American citizens, they'll judge any American president on his performance. Which is as it should be.
Okay. You're a very powerful guy, my lord. So I think I can ask you this.
At one time, I had some influence, but I don't have much now.
Well, I think you know power. You've met power. Have you ever shaken hands with a leader?
And I've always looked the president of the U.S. in the eye.
All right. You'd have, right? And what do you think of Pat Caddell not doing that?
No, but from Lyndon Johnson to George W., I always looked them in the eye. It was a privilege to meet them, and I always tried to measure up.
So it doesn't matter. I'm right with you. I'm right with you. I'm right with you, Lord, that all of a sudden you meet a president of either party. You are meeting an historic figure, just by definition. You're
meeting Well, yeah, exactly. You're meeting the direct successor to George Washington.
And thank you. And Pat Caddell, who made Jimmy Carter president in one of the first shots taken in the Oval Office. There's Jimmy Carter. I know you can't see, but he's shaking hands with Pat. Pat isn't even giving him the dignity of a look back. What do you think of that?
Well, maybe it's shyness, but you must always honor the great office of President of the U.S. Whatever you think of that person politically, that person is the direct successor to General Washington as head of your country.
Do you think it shows a lack of class, a lack of humanity?
I'd say the same meeting the Pope or meeting the British monarch or meeting the German Chancellor, the President of France. They're great offices, and you respect the office. And whoever holds
it. You know that Pat has a long history doing this with Abe Lincoln. Never looked him in the eye at all. It's like, but it is weird,
But he was friendly with Jefferson, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think very friendly with him. Yeah. All right. Thank you, my friend, very, very much. That is a shot at him with George Washington. Same drill.